Philadelphia Eagles have finally restructured Lane Johnson's contract, extending his pay, giving him more money, and reducing the cap hit in 2023. Big move for Philadelphia to create some space. They also brought in Keanu Neal, the former safety for the Atlanta Falcons, on a possible visit. Could he be a future option for Philadelphia? Zeke Elliott wants to be an Eagle. Talked about that yesterday. However, the Eagles don't want him. At least they haven't called him, according to this report. And the Eagles' favorite play from last year, it's safe. The NFL not banning it. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Friday. Friday shows are normally light, but we just had the Lane Johnson news, the Zeke Elliott stuff is going on, a new NFL rule change that is not happening, and a safety visit. We're going to jump into all of that today, starting with the big Lane Johnson news of the morning. This is great for all parties involved for the best right tackle in the National Football League. We'll go Adam Schefter first, and then the quote tweet from Tim McManus. Quote, Eagles are giving all-pro right tackle Lane Johnson a one-year, $33.45 million contract extension, including $30 million guaranteed per source. He's now under contract through 2026. Johnson hasn't surrendered a sack the past two seasons, even playing last postseason with a torn abductor. Now, on the face, that's a lot of money. However, because they're extending it out and changing the bonuses around as teams do, they're going to save a bunch of cap space for this current offseason. To McManus, the ESPN Eagles reporter, has that. Quote, Johnson's cap number was slated to be about $24 million this season. New deal drops that number to $14.8 per source. That's good. Johnson gets more money, and the Eagles get cap relief. And so it's a win-win, right? It's a lot of money, but at the same time, we're talking about the best right tackle in the National Football League, aren't we? Someone like Adam Schefter said has not surrendered a sack in the past two seasons, including playing through the entire postseason with a torn abductor. They were worried that it was going to further tear and further harm his chances of playing in the Super Bowl, and yet he was fantastic in the Super Bowl against a very good Chiefs pass rush. So congratulations to Lane Johnson. Thumbs up for the best right tackle. We can get 1,000 likes on this show, I think, for the best right tackle in the National Football League, who, you remember, a year ago said he wants to play 2 more years. This tells you his contract goes through 2026, meaning he's probably on the scale for at least the next 3 years, I would say, because then you can kind of spread out the dead cap money through 2026. Therefore, if he were to retire early, to save Philadelphia some money as well. So this, to me, does one further thing for the Eagles, is the whole idea that Mel Kiper had of Skoronski, the tackle coming out of Northwestern, to Philadelphia at 10, kind of be a Lane Johnson future-proof replacement. You don't need to draft a tackle at 10 anymore just because Lane Johnson will be here for at least the next 2 years. And why take someone with your first-round draft pick who's not going to play for at least 2 more years? So good news all around. They have cap space. The question is, what will they do with that over the coming days? Now, before we go ahead and get into the safety visit they had with Keanu Neal, I do want to mention, I made a Facebook page for the show, and a lot of you guys have found it, 74 followers already, but if you haven't found me on Facebook, just search The Thomas Mott Show. Link is down below in the description box. Give me a follow. I post a lot of fun stuff there, reels, also links to shows, trying to build my Facebook presence, if you will, and so if you wouldn't mind going and giving a like, giving a follow, I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, over here to the Keanu Neal news. Bleeding Green Nation has this write-up as the former Bucks, former Falcons safeties at the NovaCare Complex yesterday. Quote, Philadelphia Eagles hosted free agent defender Keanu Neal on a visit at the NovaCare Complex on Thursday, according to ESPN's Field Yates. Yes, the same Keanu Neal who unintentionally played a pivotal role in the Eagles ultimately winning the Super Bowl. Instead of intercepting a badly thrown ball by Nick Foles, Neal somehow managed to bounce the ball off his knee into the hands of Torrey Smith. Remember that one? They go on to kick a field goal for Zeke Elliott and beat the Falcons in very dramatic fashion in that game, However, Neal turns 28 in July, mostly played at safety during his NFL career, but did spend the 2021 season taking snaps at linebacker with the Dallas Cowboys. Not perfectly clear how the Eagles envision his potential fit in the defense. They can certainly afford to add more talent at both of the positions he can play. Neal lined up at safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last season, where he logged 8 starts in 17 games, logged 63 total tackles, 1 interception, 4 passes defensed, 5 quarterback hits, and half a sack. And so you're getting somebody who at least has experience at the safety position. I mean, we talked about Justin Evans coming over to Philadelphia. I never thought Justin Evans was going to be a starter for the Eagles at the safety spot, and not saying Keanu Neal is going to be a starter, but you can tell they're still looking to upgrade at that position, and I'm very curious to see what they're going to do, and whether they draft a safety in the NFL draft, or they go ahead and sign somebody else and kind of go safety by committee. I'm not sure, but another safety brought in to visit Philadelphia I think is good news for the Eagles. I'm very curious what you think they're going to do at safety. I'll read all the comments as I always do. Okay, quickly here over to Pro Football Focus. They have our Pro Football Talk, I should say, an update on the very controversial quarterback sneak that the Eagles use that's totally cheating. People cry about that because they can't stop it. Well, remember how we talked about they were possibly trying to ban this play because it's so unfair, even though the Eagles are the only team that's actually good at it, so maybe other teams should try using it and get better at it? I don't know. Well, according to Pro Football Talk, it seems like that is not going to be happening. Quote, the rugby maul play will likely remain in place for 2023 and perhaps beyond. The full set of proposed rule changes for next week's annual meeting from the teams and the competition committee do not include a rule prohibiting teams from pushing the ball carrier. Unless the owners do it on their own, at least 24 and all agree with the move, the play will continue to be fair game. Although the rule against pushing the ball carrier was scrapped in 2006, teams did not begin using it strategically on a widespread basis until this season. The Eagles used it on numerous occasions in Super Bowl 57. That's not necessarily true because Tom Brady and the Patriots used it all the time and no one complained. It was only when Jalen Hurts and the Eagles did it successfully that the complaining started. So, thumbs up for good news, the fact that they're not going to get rid of this play, and the Eagles will be able to run it down people's throats and convert every single 3rd down and 1 and 4th down and 1 going into 2023. So good news there. Okay, final bit of news, the update on Zeke Elliott. This is very interesting. We talked about this yesterday as I was one of the first to try and break the news to you guys here on the YouTube world. However, a couple of minutes after my show went live, John Clark had this to say about the Zeke situation as of yesterday. Quote, I'm told, as of right now, the Eagles have not engaged in conversations with Ezekiel Elliott about joining the team and are happy with the running backs they have right now. It seems the Eagles, Bengals, and Jets are a wish list for Ezekiel Elliott and where he would like to play, end quote. And so that basically tells you everything that you need to know is that Philadelphia has not at least made a formal phone call. Now, Bleeding Green Nation goes on to say that, it's not a bad idea to at least kick the bucket here on Zeke, right, in terms of actually making a run there. Quote, perhaps the Eagles feel the need to add another option who is able to handle a high volume of carries. Zeke has certainly proven himself capable in that regard as the NFL's active leader in career touches with 2186 and only 45 players in league history have logged more touches than he has at this point. And so he's a low-cost option, and that's what I said yesterday about Ezekiel Elliott. Very much in the middle, right? They're very much big signing. You go get Zeke. Don't go get Zeke. I sit here and say for less than $2 million, I'm fine with Zeke. I don't think he's going to destroy the Eagles locker room. You got to remember the difference between him and DeMarco Murray, and that's the comparison you see on Twitter right now. Eagles paid DeMarco Murray a bunch of money. Eagles would not be paying Zeke Elliott a bunch of money over a bunch of years. It'd be a 1-year, $2 million deal. Zeke would have to take a massive pay cut and understand his role as a number 2 back. And if he can do that, then sure, I'm fine with it. But as most of you guys pointed out in the comment section yesterday, would you rather have Zeke or Bijan Robinson? That's a fair question, and all of us would say Bijan Robinson. But you could get Zeke and then get a star pass rusher like Tyree Wilson at number 10 and then get a safety at number 30. And, again, that's not a bad overall offseason for Philadelphia. So I could go either way on this. Money is what really matters here, but it's not the next DeMarco Murray because DeMarco Murray got way too much money from Philadelphia and had multiple years and all that jazz, and the Eagles would not be doing that with Zeke Elliott. So at least we know they haven't called yet, but Zeke wants to be signed by the end of the week, and it's the end of the week. So Zeke, we're waiting. If you want to sign with somebody, we'll do a show here to cover it. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. Okay, plenty more stuff happening. Monday, big announcement. Very excited for the announcement on Monday. Stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe. Get ready for that show. It's going to be a bunch of fun. And we have plenty of great things happening, including our Wednesday Link Live every Wednesday night. Of course, we're going to give away one, maybe multiple draft jerseys coming up night 1 of the NFL draft. Live for the draft. It's going to be a very fun next couple of weeks. Be sure to stay tuned and subscribe. I think at the end of March now, we pivot to full-on draft stuff because free agency is starting to kind of wane here. Draft. We'll get you ready for the NFL draft here on the Thomas Mott Show. Thumbs up and be pumped for that. I'm Thomas Mott. Again, this has been the Thomas Mott Show.